Okay, here we go. We'll call this committee of the whole meeting to order on February 27th, 2024 at 7:06 PM. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, is anybody like to speak under public participation this evening? Okay, for the record, there is no public participation. First item on the agenda this evening is Adam Mackey, Lincoln Speedway, 2024 tentative racing schedule. Adam?
Good evening, everybody. Had a great season in 2023 again. Similar schedule for the 2024 season. I think last year we had 3 rainouts. Everything went pretty well for us. Our big shows were really good. We drew in a lot of people for our Flow Racing Night, for our Summer Nationals, for our Dirt Car Fall Nationals at the end of the year. We have all of those events coming back, plus we've got a Bennett Memorial race that's going to have a lot of extra money on the line in August. That should be a great race for us, too, so we're looking forward to that. 2 visits from the MOA Sprint Cars, which brings us great visits. We have 2 tests and tunes at the beginning of the year. Sunday, March 24th will be the first time that we get on track with any type of race activity. That's an afternoon deal. Afternoon deal or early evening deal on the March 29th event. And then we actually open up our racing season as far as real races go on Friday, April 5th. So pretty much same amount of events as last year, same amount of tests and tunes. Just looking for the same thing. Hopefully crowds are even better this year and bring more people to Lincoln.
Adam, do you have the numbers from last year for the down or the overages?
I do not. I do not have any of that with me.
You know roughly?
I know we were less than our 90 minutes. I don't have exact. I know a lot of nights we were under.
We went almost all but a couple events. There was several you were
Yeah, several were under. A lot of times we got done at 9:45, 10 o'clock or whatever.
10 minutes maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a couple that were over by, I think the longest one we were over was like 20 minutes. It was one of our bigger shows.
Okay. Always ask because it comes
Yeah.
up every year. So.
Yep.
Okay. Council have any questions for Adam? Ms. Rolfs?
I notice on the schedule there are just 2 Sunday events, is that right?
Correct. The one's June 16th and June 23rd,
Yeah.
other than our practice on March 24th, but that's an early afternoon deal. So, yeah, just those 2 Sundays.
So is that normal, just 2 Sundays?
Yeah, I think we had 3 last year on the schedule, but one of them got rained out.
Thank you.
They start earlier too, correct?
We try to start a little earlier on Sunday, but it's normally not more than a half hour because in June it's going to be warm, so we can't start too early because then the track dries out so fast.
Any other questions? Place this on the regular agenda?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you
Place it
very
on the
much. Enjoy your evening.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Adam. You as well.
it. Thank you.
I'm bringing the same this year.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Throw the green flag.
Have a good night. Okay, the next item up is item number 5, resolution to use motor fuel tax and rebuild Illinois bond funds. Mr. Landers?
So these, the 2 items here are necessary to have a resolution passed by the council, and then it goes to IDOT for their approval so that we can expend those funds for our resurfacing.
Place it on the, Ms. Rolfs, you have questions?
Okay, does this take into consideration what we talked about last week? If we use Build Illinois funds for some of our other projects?
That's the plan.
Okay. Just want to know if that was
But we
still in
we
there.
just have to have the resolution for the Rebuild Illinois to use that money.
Okay,
And then we also have to have the resolution to use the MFT to help support the resurfacing also.
okay.
I think it's just one, I believe. They're together.
Shane?
It's just the one
Just one?
resolution, but it approves both aspects of it. I probably made that sound a little confusing.
I'll go ahead.
Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen of the council. So Kristen Timmons from CMT Springfield office worked with IDOT just to confirm what we needed to move forward as far as paperwork and resolutions. And they did confirm that it was the one resolution could handle both the Rebuild Illinois and the MFT. That was their preference, actually, so.
Any other questions? Place it on the regular agenda. Okay, thank you. Quickest speaking ever there.
What's next?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, next up is item number 6, proposals for grinding tree waste landscape waste facility. Mr. Landers.
So as you know, we had some discussion last year about changing the rates and the fees at the landfill, which that has greatly reduced the contractors bringing in the large loads and the amount that's brought in. I believe, I don't remember the exact number, but we spent well over $100,000 trying to grind that stuff up last year and earlier the year before. The pile as it is sits right now is very manageable. And I was very pleased to see the number that came back on the proposal to grind what's there. As far as this is R&R Services is the company that has done it the last 2 times. So they do a great job. They keep things cleaned up very well. And the big thing, they have the outlet for the mulch. They can't haul it all away, but they're able to take mulch to a manufacturer that actually makes the mulch that's sold in stores. So they have an outlet for that. And all the other contractors that I've talked to or dealt with during this process don't have that ability without charging us an arm and a leg. We're paying, and last year it was $50 per load to be hauled away for a 90 to 100 cubic yard load, which is basically a van trailer, semi-van trailer. So we're paying $75 on this proposal, which is still very cheap to get rid of that.
Steve.
Do you think we'll be able to get rid of all of it?
It comes in waves because the facility gets enough and then they stop taking it. We've still not gotten rid of everything that was there before. So they're able to haul some and then the facility shuts down so they can manufacture, and he's getting it from other places too. So eventually, if we stay on this pace, I would think eventually we should get caught up, but I couldn't tell you how soon that would be.
Alderman Downs.
Your ability to get caught up is pretty dependent on the weather, though, too, right? I mean, like if there's a bad storm that comes.
Well,
through
I'm talking about the mulch itself. I mean, this proposal is to grind the pile that's there now to nothing. So it's the mulch that getting rid of is the hard part.
Okay, but if we have a bad storm that knocks down
yeah,
trees, won't that just add more to the pile that we have to grind to mulch?
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to
Hey,
add,
you're doing great. Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to add $5,000 to that number just so he's not coming back to ask for more money. If the trucks are flowing, let's get rid of it. I don't want to get to an exceed number and all of a sudden, he's got 10 loads of mulch left and we've hit the limit. I would just assume we add some money to that, maybe make it not to exceed 35,000
Well,
and just let him spend it until it's gone.
Mr. Landers.
yeah, the proposal in there is just for the grinding itself, and then it's $75 per load to haul it away. But we still have plenty of money in our budget for 23-24 to pay for this, because we budgeted extra last year to make sure that we had enough to grind the pile.
Ms. Rolfs.
Well, I looked at the amount and I thought, what?
Yeah.
I thought,
I
man.
was pleased when I seen that.
So, but what you just said, Could you clarify that? If we go ahead with the 29,400, you already have some money in there that
I
we
have
can-
money in this fiscal year's budget to pay for it.
and that can be carried over?
Well, hopefully we'll have it done and be able to pay for it before to the end of the budget year.
Okay, and then we'd still have 29,400. I
I mean, that money is there. I can't remember exactly what I have. I have around 50,000 in that line yet still. So, it'll more than pay for this project. And then we'll probably use the rest for more tree work. To get to bid out tree work towards the end of the budget year, to have trees cut down by contractors.
So would you like the $5,000 extra that,
I don't think it's necessary.
okay. Then move the proposal forward.
Place this on the regular agenda? Okay. Place item number 6 on the regular agenda. Brings us down to item number 7, Tremont Street Project Preliminary Estimates. Welcome back.
So included in your packet is a memo that we put together and got to Walt concerning Tremont Street. Obviously, it was pretty clear through the discussion at the last committee of the whole. It's a project you guys want to see move forward. So in the memo there, we kind of outlined 2 different paths. One being reconstruction, which completely redoes the road and the profile. We're able to raise the profile and eliminate some of the grade challenges that are there. Of course, completely redoing it's more expensive. So our preliminary estimate there was approximately $1.5 million. You can see the design engineering estimate was $183,000. With that, we would use the second half of 2024 and beginning of 2025 to complete the design, and then we would anticipate that would take 2 construction seasons, 2025 and 2026. With the resurfacing, as you might imagine, with just the nature of that being a mill and overlay, quite a bit cheaper, at $763,000 is the preliminary estimate. And of course, with that, our effort to get the plans and specifications complete is quite a bit less, and the whole thing moves forward more quickly. Obviously, they're not apples and apples with that cost. Typically, with resurfacing, you're probably going to get 5 to 10 years of life out of that type of work. With the reconstruction, you're looking at 20 years plus on that type of investment. So that's really my summary. I mean, obviously, based upon the discussion last time, this was something you guys were very interested in. So I'll just open it up to questions and discussion.
Bateman?
Well, he answered the question, but it brings me back to my grandpa saying you never have enough time to do it right the first time, but you always have to find time to do it over. So, 10 years versus 20 years. And I think we want the 20-year option is what I would go for, so we're not redoing it again. 10 years may be the max. We may have to redo it again in 5 to 7, so I just soon get it done right the first time.
So are you saying reconstruction rather than resurfacing?
Mr. Parrott?
Yeah, just a quick question. So the estimate for the reconstruction is just $1.5 million or thereabouts, but over a 2-year construction period, May of 25 to November of 26, costs go up in between that time. Are we how much of a estimate are we looking at? A fluctuation, 10%?
Yeah, with there's a separate CCI number, construction cost index number, that fluctuates along with inflation, everything else. So I guess these are current like 2024 estimates, right? So if you guys delay even just making a decision on how you want to move forward, every time you delay, the costs are going to go up. So as far as stretched out over 2 construction seasons, when we receive a bid in early 2025, you know, the contractor's gonna hold those prices through the duration of the construction. So even though it takes 2 seasons, he'll be locked into his bid day price, and he'll have to adjust for labor fluctuations, all those. That'll be built into that.
Any other questions? Mr. Rolfs?
No, I think it looks good. I mean, the plan that, what we talked about, this seems to have addressed the issues that we asked you to address. I think it gives us a fairly clear picture of what we're looking at. And I think, as Alderman Bateman said, I think if we can do it, we need to do it now. Could end up a Fifth Street Road project.
I mean, we are understanding that for that fiscal year, this is the only road we're gonna repair. We're gonna have to put other streets on a semi-hold until we get a major thoroughfare done in the town. So, there's, you know, as long as when those questions come up, that's what's gonna have to happen.
Ms. McClellan?
I was just going to concur with Mr. Bateman because it has become a real major thoroughfare with the closing of the other street for the train. And it's pretty heavily trafficked now, and it's really needs a lot of work. So I'm in total agreement with doing the larger project.
Okay. Ms. Rolfs?
I have because what I was looking at was the sidewalk, stairs and landscaping.
So,
As if there's gonna have to be flexibility there, so how do we determine
right,
what gets?
so I guess, I'll be honest, we dove into the weeds at the last discussion. Really, what we're looking for today is just a direction to head, right? So that way we know what to come back with, an engineering agreement to do a resurfacing project or an engineering agreement to do a reconstruction project. At that time, we'll get the field surveys done with our surveyors and able to dig into all those details. And I'm just telling you how the process will go, you know, and we'll coordinate those improvements with Walt as we get going.
But that report then will definitely include the sidewalks, the
Correct.
stairs, and
Correct.
what we're gonna do with which ones.
Ms. O'Donohue?
What's the portion of Tremont Street that we're talking about? Are we talking about the whole Tremont Street, like Union to Limit, like all of Tremont Street, or what are we talking
Logan to Union?
Yeah, I thought
Yes,
Logan
it's
to Union.
From Logan Street west to Union
So we're not even
Street.
talking about the thoroughfare that's coming over the railroad tracks and that people are using more often. We just redid some of that. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? So next steps, then you'll work with Walt? Come back to us? We don't need to accept one of these, you just need some
Correct.
direction to move
Really, this
forward.
is just direction for us to head. We can come back with, you know, a work order drafted up that will allow us to get started on whichever direction you guys want to head. And it sounds like there's some consensus to move forward with the reconstruction.
I would agree.
Full construction?
We had not planned to, but we certainly can to solidify it. Just the option, not the funding. He'll have to, the numbers will have to be worked out to see
Right.
where the money comes from.
Right. Yeah,
But at least
these
they
are-
have
These are
direction.
preliminary estimates, right? So what's typical is, you know, we work with a client and say, hey, this is roughly what it's gonna cost to head this direction. Once we get into the design, we can do updated cost estimates as we get into that, and uncover more details as to what.
But the sooner we decide, the sooner we can go out for bid, even if it's to lock in some of these prices, because we would get a more competitive bid from a construction company in 2024, knowing that they're gonna work on this project for 2 years.
Okay. So, just so that the intentions of the council are clear, did you put your hand up, Mr. Hoblet? No, I didn't. Okay. So to make sure that the intentions of the council are clear, why don't we put this on the agenda for next week to vote on the reconstruction option for Tremont? And then that will allow Shane and Walt to work together to start getting things put together to come back to go out for bid. Okay? So regular agenda, everybody okay with that? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is item number 8, the request a permit for the 4th Annual Logan County Pride Festival, Saturday, June 8th, 2024, from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Everybody okay with the consent agenda? Okay. Place item number 8 on the consent agenda. Next is item number 9, Economic Development Grant Commission approvals. Structural grants for DRAC Properties LLC at 419 Pulaski Street for roof replacement. Facade grant approval for Double Shot Holdings LLC, 101 South Kickapoo Street for power wash, caulk, replace plywood, and paint exterior. And the amounts are in the packet. The amounts for 419 Pulaski Street is for $7,500. That's what was approved by the commission for recommendation to the council. And the facade grant for Double Shot Holdings, that amount that was approved was $872. And that is at 101 South Kickapoo Street. Place these on the regular agenda. Okay. Place item number 9 on the regular agenda. Okay, next up is item number 10, RFP Energy Supply for Lincoln, Illinois Government Buildings and Facilities, discussions of bids received. And Ms. Bateman informed me today that we did go out for bid and we received 1 bid, and that was from the Stone River Group. Same as last year. So place this on the regular agenda for approval of the bid. Okay. We'll place item number 10 on the regular agenda. There you go, Ms. Bateman. Thank you. Okay, that brings us down to announcements. Does anybody have an announcement they'd like to share? The only announcement that I have, well, I actually have a couple. First, congratulations to the Lady Railers. They won the Super Sectional last night against Dixon, and they will play Friday at Redbird Arena against Lombard Montini at 11:15 a.m. And depending on the outcome of that game, they'll play either later that evening or on Saturday. So if you could show up, they would appreciate your support. High school selling T-shirts. If you'd like to pick some of those up, you can find that information on Facebook. Couple housekeeping items. I think I mentioned to some of you that we have broadcasted over Channel 5 for as long as we can remember. That's one of the 3 ways that we live stream our meetings. They're doing some restructuring, and Channel 5 will switch to Channel 9 starting on March 28th. So if you do watch it over Channel 5 starting March 28th, make sure you switch to Channel 9 so you can watch the meetings. And then we are having a elevator upgrade done here at City Hall, and to meet ADA requirements and ensure that everybody can access our public meetings, we are going to move our meetings during that period to the police headquarters. So I've been working with Ms. Metelko to get the proper equipment up. I talked to the chief today, and we're going to make sure that room is set up and ready to go. I don't think we have a firm date on that yet, but it'll be the first week of March. Yeah. Somewhere around the first week of March. Second week. Okay. So we will let everybody know. We'll let the council know. We'll share it on Facebook. Also, don't forget, we've changed our times for our meetings. So starting in March, our meetings will be at 6 p.m. instead of 7 for both the committee of the whole and the regular agenda. Okay, that is all the announcements I have. Alderman Bateman.
Mine's not an announcement, it's just a statement. Last week, I got an email yet again about conflict of interest because I share the same last name as the city clerk. So yet again, reached out to several attorneys, including the city attorney, and just trying to make it aware so people will just quit constantly badgering the situation that there is no conflict of interest between the position I hold and the position she holds. I don't know how many attorneys I have to ask. One of them came into work was the Assistant Attorney General for the state of Illinois. But Mr. Hoblit can tone in if he wants to, but there is no conflict of interest.
Okay. Any other announcements or statements? Okay, then I would request a motion to go into executive session under 2C1 personnel and 2C11 litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Parrott made the motion. Alderman Downs, second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
Mrs. Ross?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Donoghue?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes?
Mr. Sanders?
Yes.
Mrs. McCollum?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Okay, we'll be going into executive session at 7:31 p.m. I don't anticipate that there will be any city business to follow, but there may.
Thank you, good night. I'm fine right now.
I noticed. It's a nice laptop.
Yeah, with a black top.